All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Oshunbumi Fernandez West. I am the CEO of Odunde. I'm so excited about this evening. I have this wonderful, powerful sister with us this evening. I'm glad she was able to carve out some time on her busy schedule. We have Aisha Taylor Issah. She's the founder.
You got
and
it.
I got it right.
Sorry. You got it. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Now I don't need to get nobody's name wrong because I have an African name, right? No. Okay. So I need to get it together. And she's the founder and CEO of Sisters in Business. That's how I met Aisha when she came. Was that your first year, Aisha?
That was the first year that we came to Philly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We had already been in Newark, and then we came to Philly. But yes, that was our first year. Yes.
So Aisha, you're a little cloudy. You might want to cut your cell phone if you're looking at it on Facebook because you look cloudy.
Okay.
You look kind of pixely. So I'm not sure if it's a little bit better.
Okay.
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 So we are so excited that you're here. We're just going to have a wonderful, like two sisters talking.
Yes. Yes.
I want people to know your story, Aisha. I want people to know your background, So let's start out. Where did you grow up, Aisha?
Well, I am a Brooklyn girl, born and raised in Flatbush, Brooklyn.
Okay.
And still rep it. We might leave, but we always rep it hard. So that's where I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I'm in Jersey now, but I've was born and raised in Brooklyn.
Born and raised in Brooklyn. After Brooklyn, where did you go after high school? Where did you go? Did you go on to college or university? What did you decide to do?
I did. So I went away to college to the University of South Carolina. My family's from the South, so I had been going to South Carolina every summer as a kid growing up, and was looking for colleges to go to. I knew I wanted to go somewhere where I at least knew somebody, especially because I was only 16 at the time.
Wow, you finished high school early.
Yeah. So I went to the University of South Carolina for college. It was the best 4 years of my life. And then I came back home. Unlike most people, when they leave, they don't come back. But I did come back to work and started a career at the city of New York. I worked in various capacities and ultimately as a public administrator because I went on to get my master's. And at the same time was answering a calling to ministry. I'm also an ordained minister, and so was working on a Master of Divinity degree. So I had a pretty long career with the city of New York up until a few years ago when I left to further pursue my entrepreneurial and ministry endeavors.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So now let me see. Do you look clear on my end? Let me see. I'm trying to see.
It's cloudy.
It looks pixely. You look pixel. I want a clear shot of you.
Yeah, I don't know why. To me on the screen on the camera it looks clear. Let me look on the Facebook page.
Let me ask you, do you look clear on Facebook?
Yeah, can somebody send us a comment?
Me. Yes. I want to make sure I don't want to be pixely the whole.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Is she clear?
Let us know. Cloudy, but I see her.
My friend Tony says you're cloudy, but he can see you.
Yeah, I see that. I'm not sure what to do about that. I have it off. Let me I don't know.
Someone said it's pixelated. You're pixelated.
Yeah, I get it. I just don't know what to do about it.
Listen, Aisha, can you let me see something. Let's see if I can log you back in. Let me see something real quick. Hold on one second, everyone. We might have a couple technical difficulties. We're going to bring her back in. See if that's better. Oh, you look better now.
Okay, good.
Yeah, look better. You look better, Aisha. It might have been a little technical difficulty.
All right, we got it.
So you were a public administrator in New York, grew up in Brooklyn, right? Yep. Went to the University of South Carolina at 16. So you finished school. You finished high school early. How was that, Aisha?
It was okay. I was just fast and was ready to go. I was young. I've always been younger than like my
Okay.
classmates and stuff because I have a late birthday, but I started school early. And so
Okay.
like all of my friends, particularly my best friend, was graduating. And I was like, well, I don't want to be stuck here and everybody else is graduating. So I just took some extra classes. I think I did one. I never did summer school, but I did a night school session and graduated in 3 years instead of 4. So went away to college at 16, and it was a wonderful experience.
You said so you said college was the best 4 years of your life. Why?
Yeah. I mean, it was just
growing up, meeting people.
Yeah, that was the epitome of my growth, of my growing up, of learning how to become an adult very, very quickly. I made lifelong relationships or friendships there, friends that I still have to this day. And it was really just where I learned how to be an adult, being that far away and having to, handle, schoolwork. And I always had a job, and I was in various organizations and leadership positions. So it was just a fun time. Party like a rock star, I was on yeah.
You truly enjoyed yourself.
Oh yes, definitely. And I'm glad I went then because I got it all out of my system.
So what is the role that led you into let's talk about Sistahs in Business Expo. How did we get there?
Yeah. So it's been a journey. I've been an entrepreneur for over 15 years. My sister and I started a career consulting and recruiting firm back in 2005 when it started off as us just writing resumes for friends and family. And, it started to catch on. People were getting jobs and kept, referring us. And then we're like, okay, well, we need to turn this into a business. And so they really just grew into this platform where we've helped thousands of people in their careers. So I wasn't new to entrepreneurship, but the Sistahs, and I actually never thought I'd start another business. I was not interested in starting another business. Clearly, God had another plan because about 3 years ago, I just started getting this itch, this desire, this interest in creating something that I wish I had when I first started my business, which was a platform, an expo experience where I could go and tell people about my business, tell people about my products and services, and not have to pay an arm and a leg to do it. So, back when we first started, we always wanted to participate in expos, but the costs were crazy. Like even back then, they were $1,500, $2,000. When you're just starting out as a small business, you don't really have that. But you need the opportunity, you need the exposure, you need the networking, you need the experience. And so I wanted to create something like that that was affordable and accessible for your average small business owner. And then also, because at the time that was when there really became a lot of talk about women of color being the largest and fastest growing demographic of entrepreneurs in the country, right? Like everybody was talking about it, articles were coming out about it. But then when you dug a little deeper, you realize that we're the least funded and the least earning. So we are starting a lot of businesses, but those businesses aren't making any money, right? So what's the point? And so I wanted this also to be a platform that would help to close that gap. And help women of color grow in their businesses. So that's really how it came to be.
So what was the first city you started? Where was the first city?
Newark, New Jersey. We, I'm in Jersey, and we wanted to bring the expo to some areas that don't normally get events like this, right? So in the tri-state area, most people have to go to New York, right, to experience an event like this. But we're like, why? There's a huge population of women of color in business right here in Newark. It's a booming city. Entrepreneurship is really big. So why? Why do I have to go across the water when I can do it right here? And so that's where we started, right in Newark.
Right in Newark in 2017.
2017 is when we launched the business. So that's when we announced it. That's when we started the marketing and, the recruiting volunteers and vendors and all that stuff. And then we had our first tour in 2018. So 2018 was when we had our first events in Newark, Philly, Columbia, South Carolina, and Atlanta.
Wow. So how was it? How was it trying to raise the seed money that you needed to do? Because I do an event, I know the type of money that it takes to put on an event of that magnitude. How did you raise the money to create it? Or did you put your own money in? How did you do that?
We ain't raised nothing, girl. This has been all bootstrapped and, some personal investment. But, what we were fortunate about is that the response from the jump was overwhelming. It was huge. So the minute that we announced it and we started like putting out vendor applications and things like that, we immediately got an excellent response. Within our first 6 weeks, we were sold out of the first event. And so, every dollar that we have brought in, we've had to, of course, put back into the business, but we have not done any fundraising. We have not received any investments. It has really just been a lot of hard work. Of course, over time, we've, been able to establish partnerships. We do get some support and dollars and things like that. But starting out, it was very grassroots. And I think that was helpful, though, because it really helped us a footing in the community and to really be connected with the people in a very intimate way. And so we've been grateful for that.
So how did you know what people were looking for when you created this expo? How did you know what topics to cover? How did you know what was our community looking for?
Mm-hmm. So a lot of it came from my experience as an entrepreneur, as a small business owner, right? I knew what I wish I had, right? And what I had been looking for, and then was able to say, okay, well, I'm sure I'm not the only one feeling this way. I'm not the only one thinking this way. I also went out into the community for about 6 months before we actually launched, talking to women in business at other events, at other, opportunities and things like that, other networking events, and told them what I was thinking about doing. And a lot of them were very excited about it. I'm like, oh, yes, we need that. Are you going to do this? Are you going to have that? So a lot of it was just really communicating with the target audience, and then, applying, what I saw was a need. And again, even though I thought there was a need, I had underestimated it because the response was much more than I ever could have imagined.
So people have been, so you launched this in 2018. What were you getting different vibes from different cities? Whereas maybe Philly was more, we want to know more about financing, or South Carolina want to know more about marketing and branding, or Newark want to know more about social media. How did you gauge the different environments and cities that you were going to? Because each one might have different needs.
Yeah. To be very honest with you, a lot of what women in business need is unilateral, right? So even though they're in different cities, some of the topics and the needs are pretty standard, right? Like we all need to know how to get more funding. Even if we got some, we want to know how to get more, right? Yes. We all need to know how to market better, right? And how to, whether we're doing great and we want to scale, or we have nothing at all and we want to start somewhere. So we generally don't have to specify per city what our topics are, but what we do is we always try to take advantage of the talent in that city, right? So we try to bring people right from that city who are doing the damn thing, who are successful, who have resources and information to share, so that people see I can be from right here and be successful, right? I can be from right here and make it. So we are intentional about really, really tapping into the women and sisters right in that area who are doing it. We got you.
That's right. You sure did. You reached out to me. We connected the dots, and it was wonderful. Because I remember this whole thing, a segment of it, but Brittany Shipp was there. I remember Kathy Hughes, who owns Radio One, was there. I mean, Aisha, you had some heavyweights there. Deanna Williams. You had some.
Yeah, Deanna Williams, Vivica Fox. Yeah.
Vivica Fox. Yeah. So you really had some heavyweights there. And so let's talk about. Let's rewind a little bit. How was it? Hold on. I'm gonna remove you and put you back in. Hold on one second. Your pixel again. Hold on one second. Hold on one second, everyone. We're gonna bring her right back in. It might just be the internet, our internet connection.
Okay.
Aisha, how did you? How was it jumping out on faith? Talk about that. Leaving your job, leaving your 9 to 5. You have your paycheck coming in. You have to have family to take care of. Do you have any children or anything, Aisha?
I actually have one on the way.
Aisha! Congratulations!
Yeah. Great. Yeah, he'll be here in a few weeks.
You're carrying well.
All in.
You ain't seen nothing yet. It's gonna change your life.
Yeah. So, my whole life is a leap of faith. As I mentioned, I'm a minister. I've been in ministry also for over 15 years. So everything I do is a faith journey. It definitely wasn't easy. It hasn't been easy. But what is, you know what I mean? So, thankfully I do have a husband that is a huge support and helped me, along this journey. But it's been a lot of work. It's been a lot of work, but God is faithful, right? And He has kept us, and really helped us in a lot of, in every way. It wasn't an easy decision, but I knew it was time. I had been with the government for, I think it was over 14 years, probably going into 15 years, and had kind of reached a plateau of leadership where I was like, okay, I don't really want to hire. I'm not trying to be the commissioner. So I was like, okay, well, what's next? And when I quit my job, there was no Sistahs in business yet. I left my city job in 2016.
That's what I'm saying. Yes.
Yeah. I did do some like consulting work. I still take contracts here and there. But that's a good thing. I have the flexibility, of doing, what I want to do, basically, as opportunities present themselves, if it's something that I'm interested in. So it's been a faith journey. Yeah, definitely.
It's been a faith journey. So now we're coming into 2020, you have momentum, you're 2018, 2019, now we're going to 2020, and a pandemic hits. So let's talk about, how did you pivot? Tell me, let's start, when the pandemic hit, what did you think? Because I think in the beginning you thought, we can do this, we just want to change the date. Am I correct?
Yeah. Initially we started, because, we do multiple cities. So we already had a calendar of events between April and September. April, May, something like, April and September, all the dates running together now. And so initially we just postponed the April one.
Yes.
To later in the year, to September as well, thinking that by September we would be back to normal.
Yes.
And then, of course, as months went by and things did not improve significantly and restrictions were still in place, we knew that we were just going to have to put off every city until next year. So that was, of course, challenging and disappointing, because we've never just been an event, right? Like there are other things that we do, but the event is a huge part of who we are, right? So, and it's what people mostly know us for. It's what we look forward to. So it was tough. Thankfully,
it's like the flag. Your event is like the flagship. It's the flagship, but you have a whole lot of other programs that you do. We're going to get into that later. Yeah. So you changed the date, and then
I was going to say, thankfully, and this is why I say God is just so amazing, because I really believe He prepared us for this before we even knew it was coming. Because last year in 2019, we launched the Sistahs in Business University. So that is the teaching and training arm of our brand, where we provide training and resources and networking opportunities for women of color in business, so that they can either start, grow, or scale their business, right? Because it's more to it than just having an event, right? We have the event, but then what after that? Like, how do I continue to grow? How do I learn? Et cetera. So it's really been the university that has sustained us through this time, because we've still been able to reach our audience virtually. We were able to host the virtual workshops. The first thing we did was called a homeschool series, right? All the kids were doing homeschooling. So we were like, well, adults need homeschooling too. So we did a series of courses on various topics for women of color in business right at the beginning of the pandemic. We've also done like our founders chat, something similar to this, where we chat with other successful women of color in business. We do we added something called Marketplace Mondays, where we feature 3 businesses every Monday, so that they have a platform to showcase their products and services. And then last month, we held our virtual pitch competition and Expo and conference. So we were able to still reach the women of color in that way. We really didn't want to have to cancel our pitch competition. It was something we had been looking forward to working on for over a year. And so it was really amazing. Yeah.
So the pitch event, let's talk about that. You had a winner. Let's talk about people submitted their entries to talk about that. How was that whole setup?
We had the pitch competition was initially supposed to happen during our Newark Expo weekend. So
Okay.
it was going to be on Friday evening, and then Saturday was going to be our expo. But of course, when we had to postpone until next year, we didn't want to cancel the pitch competition. So
Yes.
we still went with all the applications we had received. Most of the persons were from this area, Newark, New York, New Jersey, Philly, Connecticut, that kind of area, because initially it wasn't going to be an in-person event. And so people had to be there.
Yes.
And so we reviewed applications. We chose, we had a review committee. We chose the top 4 applicants, and then we had the public vote on the 5th person. So
that was nice to get that
yeah.
Participation.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
So we had a website where they could watch the pitches, and then they voted. So when voting ended, we announced the 5th finalist. And then we hosted the pitch competition. When we announced the pitch competition, and this was another faith journey, we didn't have any money to give the winners, right? We of course wanted it to be sponsored, but at the time we didn't have any. But I was determined to do it. And so I said, well, I'm just going to put it out there, and I'm going to trust God that we're going to get the money.
Yes.
God forbid we don't get it, we will use our own money. But of course, why should we do that? We have all these wonderful sponsors who say they support women of color in business. So we put it out there. And by the time the pitch competition happened, I'm so grateful to say we had every single dollar sponsored. So we were excited.
That is great.
Yeah. So the first, we gave away over $9,000 in grants, small business grants. And we also had, several $1,000s worth of sponsored services for the women.
Well, that was great.
So do you see? I was from Philly.
Get out of here! What was her business?
It's called eDay App. eDay App. Her name is Khalida Barakat, and it's an app that was created to assist with door-to-door canvassing. She's a bad sister. You have to watch it. It's on our YouTube channel and our Facebook page.
I'm gonna watch it. I have to watch it.
Yeah, it was really good. Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about. So now that we're you've been through the pandemic, you've had your virtual expo. What does it look like for next year for you, Aisha? I guess I know, like myself, we're just really waiting to hear from the officials to see how we can navigate this. Yeah. How do you see it? Do you see any changes happening for the Citizen Business Expo? What do you see?
Yeah, definitely. We've already started to kind of just think about other ways that we can do it. And kind of strategize, what our options are. You and I should talk too, because I'm sure we can bounce some ideas off of each other. I know we definitely can't afford to have another year of nothing. So we got to do something, and we just have to be flexible, because that something might look different than what we're used to, right? Yes. But different isn't necessarily bad. And so, that might mean a series of smaller events, or that might mean, other restrictions or just limitations that you put, but we have to be open to that. So we're definitely already starting to have conversations about what that's going to look like if we can, in fact, do our normal type of setup. We're looking forward to getting back together. There's nothing like our people coming together. Our events are just so rich. So the energy in the room is just so much fun, so much love. And so we definitely are looking forward to that. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. So Aisha, how do you balance between personal life and your work life? How do you find that balance? Because sometimes we as women, we do so much. How do you find that balance?
Yeah, we do. I'm probably not the best to answer this question because I'm not that great at it. But I try as best as I can to stay organized. Like, that is really, really important for me, because if I'm not, I will mess something up. Like, I've done it before. I'm supposed to be in one place and I was in another. So like, my calendar is like my life. Like, if it's out on my calendar, it's not happening. Like, even I had to put it on my calendar because that's just the nature of it, right? Like, we get so caught up doing things, we might get sidetracked. We might, think we did something. And then also my team, right? Like, I would never be able to balance anything without my team. And allowing the team to operate in what they've been hired to do. So we definitely have a great team that works really hard to make sure that everything that we bring to you is excellent. We pride ourselves on excellence. We don't half step with anything. We are not that slack black event that you went to that started late or, was ghetto or whatever crazy stuff happened. People say we pride ourselves on excellence, excellent service, excellent, productions, just excellence all around. So that's what we do. Yeah. So you're a little pixelated now. I don't know if you might want to pull off and pull yourself back on.
Hold on, let me see. I'm gonna pull off. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull off. How's that, Aisha?
That's the same.
It's the same. Okay, we're gonna wind down then, because I don't know what's happening. I'm right next to my modem. So I don't know what's happening. They said next to your modem. I'm right next to my modem.
And you know what it might be? Are y'all having a storm there?
Oh, we are. It was raining.
Yeah, it's
no storm, but heavy rain. It was heavy rain. It could be that.
Yeah. That's what
it's the rain. Just
yeah,
that's what Antonio just said.
Yeah, so we can go.
So
I mean, they can hear
it down.
It's not terrible,
Okay, that's great. So, how do you relieve stress?
So pre-COVID, I was big on. I'm a spa girl, right? So I go to the spa all the time, as much as I can. I wouldn't say all the time, but pretty often. I love just taking time away, getting massages, facials, all that stuff. That's one of the ways that I really stress. I'm also a worshiper, right? So worship for me, church for me is very important. It's like the fuel that I need to make it through the week. So this time has been really hard not being able to go to church, because virtual is okay, but there's nothing like being in the building. I
know that's right.
And now just kind of being home, really for me, I kind of just check out. So whether it's binge watching something on TV or taking a good old nap, that's kind of what I do to decompress and, just kind of take a break and then come back in, jump back in.
Come on down. So what advice would you give the 21-year-old Aisha? What advice would you have given the 21-year-old Aisha?
Wow. So the 21-year-old Aisha was out of college. She had just started her career with the city of New York. She was living her best life, but she could have done more. So I would tell her, number one, to travel more, right? Like, I wish I had done a lot more travel when I was younger, when I was, young and free and not a care in the world, I wish I had done a lot more international travel. I did like, a little cruise here and there like that, but I wish I had really seen the world. And I still can, of course, but I wish I had done more of that. I would also tell her to always make time for yourself, because I've always been so busy, and so just enthralled in business and ministry and church that I think sometimes I neglected myself. I would also tell her to take good care of her health, right? Because, that freshman 15 don't go away.
I know that's right, Aisha.
It's hard. It's hard. It's easy to get it on, but it's hard to get it off. Not just physical weight, but just all kinds of weight, right? So to take better care of herself mentally, physically, and that kind of thing. Things that I'm trying to do now as an older adult that I wish I had done when I was younger. Yeah.
Yes. That is great advice. Great advice. So if we wind down, Aisha, tell us, give us some, what can we expect from Expo? What can we look out for? What can we look for? What do you want to talk to people about?
One thing that we really boosted up and enhanced during this quarantine season was our merchandise line. So we always had a merchandise line, but we sold it primarily at the events. And we had an e-commerce site, but it was just there, right? But now we are booming, right? And we have some dope merchandise. We do all of our own fulfillment, all of our own printing, everything. And so this is one of our newest items called I Am the Secret Sauce.
I like it.
That, you don't have to look around for what makes you different, what makes you special. You are it. To you. And this is one of our newest collections. We also have one that says God is faithful. because that is like just kind of one of our things that we believe. We make no apologies about being a faith-based business. Also, we have When My Sister Wins, We All Win. We have My Sister Is My Business, which was our theme for this year, right? That we are the Sisters in Business Expo, but it's because my sister is my business. Black women have always held each other down. Women of color have always held each other down. And so this whole notion that we compete or that's crazy. We've always held each other down. So we have that. We have a popular About My Black-Owned Business, Sisterpreneur. So our merchandise is a lot of fun. It's great quality. And we love it. So if you go to our website, which is SIBExposhop.com, you can shop. And also if you text SISTAH to 81787, you can get a discount code on your purchase. So that's one thing that we're really excited about, and it's going really well. And then also we're just continuing our virtual offerings through our university. So we'll have a few courses coming up over the next few months, especially as we go into the holiday season, to help people prepare for that season, because of course e-commerce is still going to be really booming, and we want people to do well. We also have a lot of businesses who may not have had an online presence, but they need to have an online presence, and so we're working. We have a partnership with Square, where we are getting that information to them. So we've got a lot of the great things coming on. We just always encourage people to check out our website and join our mailing list mostly, so that they can get the updates.
So what's your website?
So it's SIBExpo.us.
Okay.
For Sisters in Business. Well, I was trying to type it, but I don't see where I can type it in the comments.
I can type it in for you. So thank you so much, Aisha. Oh my God, may you be blessed. Let me tell you something. Life is going to slow down a lot when you have that baby. Okay, you're not going to have a choice. You're not going to have a choice. Okay,
that's why I'm glad I have a team, because otherwise I don't know what I would do. But yes.
So thank you so much. Thanks so much for carving some time out. I know you're busy, so I truly appreciate you coming on, talking to everyone. Everyone, please support this wonderful woman. Please support her business. www.SIBExpo.us. I just posted it in our comments. You can see it. Please support her. You know, everybody, you want to support other companies, support this company, support one another. Thank you so much, Aisha. After you had the baby, you come down a little bit and adjust. You and I can talk to see how maybe Odunde and SIBExpo can partner up, because I have no problem doing that. And thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you for the invitation. Thank you for having me. It's good to see you. You're
good to see you, and good luck and congratulations on your new blessing from God.
Thank you, Ann. Thank you. Have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. You're watching the ODUNDE365 Fall Series. This is Convo with the CEO. Next week, we're going to have Omar Sabir. He's a city commissioner. He's doing a wonderful job of getting out about talking about the elections and the importance of voting. We're going to have him on board. Please spread the word. Thank you so much for watching ODUNDE365 Fall Series. This is Convo with the CEO. We'll see you next week. And everyone, thank you for watching. Thank you so much for watching. Tony, we want to have you on a guest soon. You're coming. So thank you, everybody. See you next Monday.